Guys, another episode of
What's up, guys?
These. Bring it. Outside.
Seven.
Yes, you can soft.
Not created. We are not created.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode. Episode 11. We're here with Mr. Julio, and if you don't know Mr. Krystiano, I blocked it today.
Right, live today, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Like we said, the best of the best in the house local artist, Julio.
Thank you, man.
Thank you so much.
I'm excited, man. Episode
you.
11.
Thank you.
We got some dope content here. I can't believe you're friends with this guy. Like, this is amazing. You do got good friends. This is
We
cool,
just
man.
bump into each other, man. That's
Yeah,
how
man.
it
This
is.
is amazing.
That's the bit about social media. It's like one time you get hit up. Hey, man, I saw your stuff in the gallery. Blah blah
Yeah,
blah. We start
that's
talking
exactly
to each
how
other,
it was.
and then here we are. Episode 11.
So, I wear glasses, and y'all didn't tell me y'all gonna wear your glasses
Oh,
today.
come on.
Y'all try to get the smart thing going on today.
You know I
okay?
cannot see.
No, I
you
know
know
that.
I cannot answer because I cannot read. So, and now I got glasses. So,
Man, I should wear my glasses today.
but forget about me. Guys, as we promised, the best of the best in a house. Incredible stuff we have here today. Efrain is gonna do his thing and we're gonna enjoy this thing. I know we got 45 minutes. It's a lot to cover, but this stuff is dope. Unbelievable.
Some amazing stuff. I mean, so let's get started. Let's figure out a little bit more about you, and then we can kind of show exactly
Sure,
what you
man.
brought in. This is some dope stuff. But talk a little bit about yourself, man. Who are you, Mr. Julio?
Yeah, man.
The
Well,
artist.
you want me to start
The
from the
artist?
beginning?
Yeah,
I
man.
mean,
Give a little brief intro.
That's your show, man. Come
Come on,
on.
man. No secret. I love motorcycle design. I have some experts here that can give you some amazing feedback, and I also have a passion for watches. All this thing came about from my grandfather. So just so you know a little background of how the whole thing came about. My grandfather was an avid watch collector. He was born in Cuba. And as you know, we, some of us have come from a different country, and we know how it is to start from scratch. And that's what he did. He left Cuba, went to Venezuela, and he was, one of these larger than life kind of guys.
Wow.
And
Typical Cuban.
no, really, man. I mean, this guy had an appreciation for craftsmanship, for good things, and he instilled that also in my father. And I actually brought here something special that I wanted to show you, because this is how the whole thing got started. My grandfather gave this watch, and hopefully the camera can do us some
We
justice.
got like
I'll try to-
the three
I'll try to
cameras.
show you.
We can bounce
We have
around
one-
so people
one
can
here.
appreciate.
one here and one over there. So this timepiece that I have right here is really the kind of the genesis of how this whole thing started. I'll let you just take a look at it.
Oh.
This watch was given to my father in this watch is
wow.
from 1976.
Some must have also Rolex, right?
It is a Rolex.
It has diamonds in it.
Yes.
Good to meet you, Julio. Actually, Rolex in the house, not a pawn shop. Wow, this I never got a Rolex in my hand before. Wow.
The reason why I show you that is because this is the true testament of craftsmanship in regards to quality. This has been 3 generations and it's still going perfectly fine.
Wow.
My father received it when he graduated from university, and then I was a baby when he was literally holding me in his arms with this.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this whole thing is about telling this type of story. Every single piece that you see here, every single motorcycle that is there has watches that are hundreds of years old.
Oh wow.
So the whole concept is to grab this type of timepieces. These ones are working, they're in perfect condition.
Wow.
And I will never touch them to damage them or create a motorcycle, but all of these pieces, they get thrown away. So you go to a pawn shop, and they literally melt, all those metals for scrap, for the precious metal.
Gotcha.
And to link it back to this, I realized that, okay, so what happens with these pieces that are made with so much love, so much care, craftsmanship? I'll give you an example. These pieces that are here, all of this was made back in the 1920s. These were the tools that they used to do all these marks in the back of the pocket watches. So you see all those, all those drawings that you see in the pocket watches. All of that is handmade, and it was made hundreds of years ago, and we're losing this type of craftsmanship. And that's why I appreciate what all of you guys do in regards to putting everything together and doing it through art. And that's where this comes in. This piece right here shows you that when you do something right and you pass it on to generations, you can tell a story behind it, and then when you die, somebody else is going to enjoy it.
Yeah, just like imagine,
He says it all the time. Yeah.
It's like, when we get something like a Rolex, like you say, 3 generations, just think about it. Everything that we experience is happening in 100 years.
Exactly.
Right? World War I, World War II, Vietnam War, all these wars, and this thing endure, through these years. We actually, number of times we have stories of watches in movies, like a Pulp Fiction, what his grandpa gave him this watch, and many other things that they pass it on, and it's unbelievable that nowadays, it's like I said, this art is lost.
Yeah.
It's literally lost.
No, I mean, what I really enjoy, and we're artists in different ways, you know what I mean, and meeting you and seeing some of these things is really how you're showcasing art in ways people didn't even think of, you know what I mean, and how you've kind of got inspired as a young kid, you know what I mean. So kind of going back, you're telling your story, when did you know that this is what I wanted to do? I wanted to create these sculptures.
Ever since I was a little kid, and I heard you say something, that resonated with me, is that God gives us gifts, right? So ever since I was a kid, anything that had to do with, a pencil, anything that had to do with building something, I had a good knack for it. That was my strength. And as I was growing up, sometimes we don't want to accept that is truly our gift because of society. I come from a society where it is good to be a doctor, to be a lawyer, to be an engineer, and those are the guys that you're like, oh wow. My father, for example, comes from a lineage of physicians. So my mom is a physician, my father is a physician, so what am I gonna be?
Exactly.
A physician.
Yeah.
So I always fought the fact that was my strength, but I always knew that's what I was good at. So as I was growing up, I graduated from high school, and when I look back at my my grades and all of that, I sucked at everything. I was not a very good student. But there was one thing that I was really good at, and that was art and drawing and technical elements and putting things together in space. So I had the opportunity to leave Venezuela. My grandfather, I think, had I told him I want to be a doctor like my dad, right? And he kind of looked at me and he said he knew he wanted to tell me don't be a doctor, right? But I think he did.
Great doctors come from Venezuela. Believe me,
man.
It's unbelievable.
Thank you for saying that.
People don't realize that how many good doctors come
absolutely.
from Venezuela.
Thank you for saying that and acknowledging that. Absolutely.
So, but he's not a doctor, so you don't gotta.
It doesn't matter, man.
We're not talking about doctor. We're talking about him right now.
I almost love Jesus, man. So the story goes that when he realizes, and my mom I think realized it too, even my father, but they didn't want to kind of say it directly.
Yeah.
And my grandfather said, listen, there is an organization called Rotary International. Why don't you take a year off? And there's an exchange program, student exchange, and go learn English. Go have this experience, take a year off, and then if you come back, you want to be a doctor? Great, right? So that's what I did. I left Venezuela, came to the United States, to Wisconsin, out of all places.
Out of all places.
Which I love.
Yeah.
And I lived with 3 families, okay? And my second family was an art teacher, and she was one of my biggest influences, the one that actually opened that door for me.
Did you come home as an exchange?
Yeah, as an exchange student.
Okay.
So basically she said, listen, you're really good at this. She exposed me into competitions. She exposed me into really getting to appreciate, what was behind it. And I really didn't want to listen 100%. I think we've all been there.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's
a little
like,
hard-headed, a little stubborn.
Like art,
It's like what my mom used to
make
do.
a living
You
out
can
of
do
it.
whatever you want as long as you do art. I was like, great. You know, it's like
That's
as long as you know. The funny thing is, not interrupt you. There's something that's.
Oh, you already interrupted.
It's
No,
like,
no,
it's
no,
stuck
please.
to my
Sorry.
mind. We have somebody in the house that I appreciate. He's a good friend of mine. A big pain in the neck. Tattoo Bill, right? He's the co-founder of Graffiti Junction. But that aside, he's a big biker, and he's always just taking time to ride his bike. But there's one little play, and that bike got destroyed in an accident one time. But there's one little thing that he had on that bike that says, was your grandma, right, Bill? That said,
Grandma, yeah.
what she was saying, she said that.
To view the world through the eyes of an artist is the greatest gift of all.
So
Yes.
and it was and this was like on the bike, and it's funny though that we're doing this show, and on to your grandma, it's like too, because like we're doing things about motorcycle history, and this was one time when we first met. We just like we were just doing those restaurants, and that plate was there. The grandma say, the fortunate basically is the one that can see the world through the eyes of an artist. It's just like just amazing. What we don't realize, what our grandparents leave us this legacy that we only realize and understand down the road. It's the most beautiful thing, I believe.
No, I believe it. And it's crazy how we go through life and really don't know what we're going to make out of it. And there's the ups and the downs, and there's things that we go through and don't realize while we're going through it, or why something was provided to us. And this watch being provided to your dad and kind of passed along to you, and who knew that these are the masterpieces that you're going to bring out of it. So let's talk about these pieces, man. These are some amazing pieces. So how long does it take for you to make one of these watches itself? How many watches? I'm not sure if you probably lost count, but how many watches did it really take to create one of these?
I'm gonna make kind of showing this because I want people to appreciate that, because
no, for sure.
The cameras, they don't say much. I'll go around. It's out
so
here
just,
this time.
Kind of talk about how
Yeah.
long does it take to make some of these pieces?
The heart of all of these pieces is that these are made with pieces that are average 100 years old. So they come from pocket watches, grandfather clocks, and all the mechanics and components that are inside. So what happens with these pieces is that back in the early 1900s, we saw kind of after World War I and before World War II. There was a huge kind of Art Deco era where there was a lot of people putting a lot of emphasis in design and craftsmanship and art. I think you can agree to that. In regards to motorcycles, for example, one of the most beautiful motorcycles are made in that era. So because I have such a big passion for the antique pocket watches, I figured that since I like motorcycle design and watches, I wanted to take those pieces and preserve the history and the stories behind them. So, just so you know how this whole thing came about, I was telling you the story of Wisconsin. My second family, the art teacher, she knew I liked motorcycle design, and she gave me this beautiful book, The Art of the Chopper.
Oh, I know that book.
Yeah,
I know
beautiful,
that book, yeah.
Beautiful book. And I had it for years. And then I was living already here in Orlando, and my parents brought that book for me, and I started browsing through it. I'm like, man, I just love this stuff. I even thought about making custom motorcycles, but I didn't have the knowledge and the engineering behind it, because I know it takes a lot to do that. And then painting and all that. It's just
I can't even write them. I suck. Writing won't suck. But I'll let you.
So long story short, I go to this antique store to pick one of those pocket watches, and the intention was for a gift from my father. And it so happens that as I'm talking to the gentleman that owns the store, he brings me these beautiful pocket watches, and I start asking questions. And he says, man, you know a lot about pocket watches. I just went to an estate sale, and I purchased this beautiful boxes of parts out of a watchmaker that passed away. Would you like to take a look at them? And I'm like, he was like, would you like to see some gold? I'm like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm like, please show me. So he brings out, something along the lines of like this, but 3 boxes of them.
Wow.
And let me see if I can.
And it's unbelievable how many parts you have in a one pocket watch, man.
Like things like this, that you would think, they're just, you know, mechanical components of a pocket watch that to some people it's like, oh yeah, that's okay. To me, it was amazing.
Yeah, wow.
Because I really have an appreciation for it. So the guy tells me, listen, I'm either gonna sell this on eBay or something, or I can sell it to you. And I asked him, well, how much do you want for it? And he told me a crazy price. I said, well, I can't, you know, I can't afford that.
Obviously,
can't buy it. Long story short, we come into an agreement for a price. I take the boxes and I get home with the 3 boxes of parts.
Oh wow.
My wife wants to throw me out of the house.
I was gonna
She's like,
it's me that gets house was the
she's
same
like,
day.
you're not coming in with that stuff. That's junk.
spent how much
You
you
stay, you stay at the door. So
It's almost
and of
like
course,
if the artist should be single, right? I think the artist should be like single or something like that. I don't
but
know, man.
bless her heart.
Wow.
She said, okay, you know, what are you gonna do with that? And I tell her, look, I'm just gonna do something with it, right? I had no idea what I was gonna do. Go into my office, see all these parts, thinking, what the heck am I gonna do with this? My wife goes to bed, and I start browsing through this motorcycle book. And now I knew that there was some artist like us that made things with gears and, you know, parts of cars and
I
motorcycles.
see guys doing insects,
Yeah.
beautiful insects out of watches
Exactly,
and
out
things
of
like
the
that.
gears. I mean,
Yeah.
you can do a lot of stuff
Yeah.
with this. So I said, well, let me take, you know, something like this and put it on top of the wheel to see if the proportions would work. So I grabbed something like that, right? Just a simple, you know, face of a pocket watch, a dial.
Wow.
And I started putting it on top of the picture. And I'm like,
So you actually use the picture of the book.
correct.
Oh, okay.
So I
You do the
started putting it on
composition like
top.
that. That's cool.
And I'm like, okay, this works. Now, I've seen some things that you have a frame and then you see a motorcycle, right? I don't know if you guys ever seen it. And then I said, well, how about if this is a 3D motorcycle?
Wow.
Like, you know, made out of the whole thing, using components of design on how to build them. So I started kind of browsing on how to do them, and I stayed up the whole night trying to figure it out, made the first motorcycle.
Your wife thinking you crazy right now.
Exactly. So she wakes up and I put the motorcycle right in the middle of the table. And then her reaction, I wish I had a camera to, you know, put, you know, like her reaction was so cool. I'm like, well, maybe there is something to this.
Yeah.
There's a good support in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, she was like, okay, you gotta do this stuff. Find a way. This is amazing. Find a way to do it. You gotta show this to people. And then I started making them little by little, and that's how the whole thing got started.
You know,
And then,
the cool thing is that I've seen a lot of artists, and we had a whole art talk about how to present your art. Then we
Yeah.
talked about Rex, how he's getting an incredible result because just the way he present his art.
The work, yeah.
What I like is that, you know, I can emphasize enough that people sometimes they paint a canvas and they just want to show raw. Sometimes people don't have that vision. They don't have your vision. You have to present the best of the best that you can, the attention to detail. What I like about this, and I've seen some people mess with motorcycles, like we talk on the phone.
Yeah.
But what I like is not only the whole thing, it's a museum piece of art.
Literally, I walked in here and you got these
You know,
hands
it-
up and these
Exactly, there's a
these
difference.
displays. Like, this is amazing.
There's a difference that if I would get that bike and just sit the bike on the counter and start talking about bike, this will be, I don't think it will be an art talk. That would be just like a car wheel show type of thing. But not only that, this is important, this is beautiful, great presentation, but I like the way you branded yourself.
thank you.
Through posters, it gives an opportunity to the average person that maybe cannot afford that, but they can walk away with the poster. What is your background? Because what I see professionalism in how you market yourself.
Yeah, I was
Is
gonna
that
ask
in
that
your
because-
family, or is that something that you
Just-
Well, I actually leverage some knowledge that I obtained when I went back home from Wisconsin. I started trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and I really wanted to go into industrial design. I wanted to build motorcycles. I wanted to build, you know, things that people can use. But back home, there was not a reputable school, and you know, I come from a family that they ingrained that I needed to go to a university.
of course.
So I started trying out, you know, I tried out like engineering, and I tried out, you know, like different options until I landed in architecture.
Okay.
And architecture school gave me a good foundation of what it is to
Gotcha.
build, to present something, to elevate it, and really present it in a way that people can truly appreciate it for what it is. And then when I started putting it all together, I said, well, you know, part of being an architect, right, is that not only are you making a blueprint, you're putting some thought behind it, build it, and then present it to the world in a way that people can look up and say, wow, that's amazing.
It's crazy. It's like, you know, it's exactly my Disney story, right? Because I couldn't compete with the best of the best Disney artists in the world, and I had a tremendous respect for them. You know, I love them. I'm honored to be with them. But then I keep telling people, say, how do you come up with these frames? And I built, you know, a theme park for Disney for so many years. But I tell them that the engineer and architecture behind the frames. So my frames make me a better painter, because if you separate them, they complex like, oh, it's another Disney piece. But then, you know, it's like when I see it, it's in a tremendous amount of work. Right, a lot of history behind and the presentation, because when I talk to you on the phone, I keep seeing like these posters, like, well, that's a genius idea, because you can literally have a show just in the posters alone. If I didn't know you, I walk into a gallery and I see a book or a poster, I will purchase just to have it. This is like.
By the way, first of all, before I tell you this, I want to commend you on what you do, and I'll tell you why. The way that I got to know Krystiano, I walk into this gallery, beautiful gallery on Park Avenue, right? And then I look to the left and I see something that I've never seen before, because you see a piece of art and you always see like a basic, you know, kind of rectangle. And I see this like custom made frame made with some gears. I'm like, that's what my out here right there. And then I called the guy. I said, "Who makes this? I gotta know this guy." And he starts telling me all this story, and I get like really excited.
The only difference
and my wife,
fake.
No,
it's like,
let me tell you, what you make made me have a fight with my wife. She wanted to leave.
Hey guys, this is what they're talking about. That's gears and gears, but the difference, this is fake. And that's like gears upon gears, you know, that we're doing.
It's fake now, but originally, he actually told me a story yesterday. He was using real gears. He just became a little smarter and realized I had to, you know, mass produce these things. But no, it was actual gear. So yeah, awesome. Go ahead.
No, I mean,
he's still excited,
man. It's like, you know, they cannot be more livelier than this.
Yeah, no, he's trying to talk. You interrupted him. Go ahead.
Yeah. The guy tells me,
this all the time,
you know, Krystiano Dacosta, this is what he does. He works for Disney. The guy actually did a great job in promoting your work. So
yeah, they do that. They like.
Yeah, they really do. They like, a great job.
I trained them well.
He was trying to take home some money, you know. He was trying to get that sale.
I went online and looked you up, and you know, found the Instagram page. I think I shoot you a direct message. It's like, dude, I love your work. Let's connect, and that's how, you know, the whole thing.
You know, and the funny thing, it was exactly the same thing. I met this guy way back when he started doing something to empower, you know, the people, and I cannot emphasize enough. And I say this: what you see, what you get. I hate those people that they get a little bit of fame and they forget about the roots.
Too good for
I think everybody. You know, there was this lady one time, she called me for St. Pete. You Krystiano? Yeah. Oh my gosh, will you pick up your phone? Yeah, I go to the bathroom and I'm a real person. Okay?
Exactly.
And she was just like, oh, I can't believe it. I just dialed up and I got to talk to you. I went to Island Gallery and say, yeah, we walk to you, we eat. You know, and there's so many people that Efrain and I, we coach people, you know, online, and sometimes people don't realize that it's we actually texting them back because it's important. It's gonna happen to you. I believe that you're gonna reach such a level of success, and it's important because this is more than art. This is just like a history of this country and a history what other, you know, is what we're representing here. You know, it's worldwide. You know, Switzerland, Germany, you know, Cuba, Venezuela. You know, everybody once upon a time put a hand in one of those. And one time I bought this at Walmart for like $9.99. Those one, and I sent to my dad. You know, my daddy was in Brazil. I made a box. I remember I had a deer. The ones that they sell at Walmart, very fake type of stuff. But it was so beautiful that I was like, I didn't even care about the watch. I just cared what represented. You know, so and I don't know what to say anymore.
No, because he was telling a story and you interrupted him again.
No, but you know what?
I
That's actually a really good point. And to segue on your point, for any, you know, artists that young artists that are out there, that sometimes you need the confidence to put yourself out there. First, it doesn't have to be perfect. Two, don't be afraid to contact people. If there's somebody that can act as a mentor to you, reach out to them. You know, there's the worst thing that can happen is they don't reply back. So what? You know.
And I challenge every freaking artist. They don't have to be the best artist. Listen, if somebody reach out to you, okay, unless if you don't try to sell some kind of scheme,
reply back.
Please reply back.
Absolutely.
Reply back, because you don't know what really the person is going through. Sometimes he communicate with you because he look up to you, and you don't know. I had artists. This is just like a completely different story. But I had artists that no. Listen, this is crazy. No, this is crazy. This is I had an artist. I had an artist that came to my studio. And one artist had committed suicide a month back.
Yeah, that's.
She came into my studio. She was talking to me, and we're talking about, what do you think about that? And I said, you know what? I'm not God. I think the only God gives and takes it away, right? And it was so odd because I was printing these guys' art so they can do a service. It was at Favo, right? Art Gallery Hotel in Ryan Colonial. I used to show there way back when. But the funny thing is that I believe when the guy said, hey man, my guy said like, hey, I want you to print some of those stuff for me. And I say, oh, okay, like I did for that person. How is she doing? Oh, you don't know? And I said, what do you mean you don't know? She took her life. She actually had to commit suicide like a month later. And I don't know if I feel guilty or something, but I don't know if I should engage more in that conversation. It could be the key to kind of like, hey, I'm here. Why don't you come here and have some good time and doing some art?
Yeah.
That's important because artists are very different people and different creatures. God only made so many of us, you know, and it's important that I challenge every artist, every mentor, every teacher, anybody, a drug addict, somebody that got recovered, an alcoholism, you know, and I pray that these people, what they went through, they can reach and empower people like you did, like, you know, how we met each other. How this guy goes and young and he's out here and making a difference. You know, this is what art is about, and I challenge every single one here that this be a lesson that can go on and on and on, because this is what I believe. And you know that I talk
for sure. I mean, I think the reason that we created the platform wasn't just to talk about every artist, right? Because we do different art of networking communication. We're thinking about doing the art of improv. There's just so many different arts and everything, but it is making the difference. You know, the way that you made the difference with this, and you're going to inspire somebody that is watching, or the way that you walk into the gallery and he inspired you in a different way that you didn't even imagine. And we go through things in life.
And how crazy it is we're here today.
Yeah, and we go through,
what I'm saying?
through things in life, and you know? It's to make a difference. It's to really lead. I think sometimes people feel they don't really understand that it's more than us. It's what we're going to leave behind, as your grandfather left something for your father, and the way that you'll leave something for your kids, and it will continue a cycle. What are you doing with that time to really make a difference and empower somebody else? So it is right, you know what I mean? And I definitely
there is more to give than to receive.
Of course,
you know what I mean?
Of course,
100%.
100%.
And what you touch base on, something that I believe is one of the most important things that we can discuss, is the fact that us as artists, sometimes you don't feel like you belong in society. Like you have to be something different. But there are some people that keep it inside and they don't reach out, they don't communicate, they don't know that there are other people like you. And that's what happens, you know. Some people choose to take their own lives, and you see these people that is, you know, they're genius. Like they probably
like, you know,
are.
I was talking to Solo the
Picasso.
other day. Solo, we were talking to each other. It's like, dude, sometimes we get abandoned for who we are.
Yeah.
Because some people don't have the vision that we have. It's not because we're better than anybody else. It's just different. It's just
and all it takes is one person to tell you you're amazing, you're a rock star, and that one little thing can change your life forever. You know, a lot of times I'm that same person, and people always feel like, man, you're always so happy, you're always so giving. But there's times where we'll go into those same places, and we have to surround ourselves with really good people.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And I'll have to have a conversation with a good friend and separate myself from that negativity, because a lot of times we grew up in that. We grew up in that negativity and that negative mindset. The reason that we don't, we feel that this is what we got to do because this is what we were told. But don't realize we can be as creative as possible. And just as much as it's weird or it's crazy, it's because someone doesn't have that vision, the same vision that you have.
Exactly.
So it's amazing. I mean, look where we all kind of started from. We started from nothing, We started literally with...
And to me, this is like crazy because I'm into building stuff.
Yeah.
I'm a build maniac, and I'm just like, what can we do with this?
Where can you find some of these pieces? Are you already in the galleries? Or?
There are many ways that you can find them. One of them is, state sales. Sometimes because there are pieces that are very old. You can find them there. You can find them, in markets, unexpected places. People that just approach you and say, "Hey, this was passed on from my grandfather. I have it in the attic."
In Melbourne, I went to buy a machine, and the guy was a watch. He fixed watch. I went over there, and his watches everywhere, you know. And he was showing me all kinds of stuff. I went to pick up a machine, and I'm just like, "Oh crap! It's like, what's going on here?" And I'm about to buy. He had a Budweiser watcher and this watcher, and all kinds of crazy.
So believe it or not, I have one of these at home, and I'm guessing I'll pass it on.
You have a bow tie at home, man. That suits you. Like every time we go to talk to someone, he comes on a bow tie. You know what I mean?
Why not?
You know how to dress.
That's how you want to put up.
I'm like,
Talking about bow tie.
man.
That's so cool, and this will be up your alley. Motorcycles, and what we were discussing before, there's an organization that you guys have to check out, and motorcycle fanatics, everybody that likes it. And it passed on not too long ago, and they actually help with mental health for us, for men.
Yeah.
And it's called the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride. And it's an organization that takes motorcycles all over the world, and they ride. And, they collect.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, for that. And I think that would be something that when you check it out.
Well, you know what? Speaking
You
of
should
which,
put a link
we're
in
talking.
the
We're gonna check this out. But he mentioned that he wants to make those things like bigger.
Oh yeah,
life size. And
absolutely.
we've been talking about that. We have a show next door
yeah.
that's gonna be a restoration
awesome.
garage. We're gonna build this.
Absolutely.
We are going to build this. And Tattoo Bill's gonna
Do you know
write
those
it,
tower
and Sol is gonna paint
Yeah.
it, and Phyllis is gonna produce it.
So what I was saying is I got one of these at home, right? And someone gave it to me when I was in high school, and it has my initials on it. I don't even know if it works. It's somewhere.
like
But now that I'm
crazy.
sitting here, you're talking about these watches. I'm like, man, now I know who to give it to make a beautiful piece for somebody else or for whatever it is. Because this is amazing, man. Like, I don't think I've physically seen these in person.
Hey,
but
can you imagine having like your grandpa's watching in there? I mean, this is like dope.
Well, that's
a commission
part of
piece.
the idea, to tell you the truth, is that sometimes what happens is that people do not know what can you do with this.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's functional, if it's nice, you can actually take it and play with it, open it, see the mechanics. But whenever you don't have it, or it broke, or you don't want to spend $500 on a watchmaker to fix it, you can actually make a piece of art. So that what you're describing is actually the soul of this concept, is to take somebody that said, look, this has been passed on 2 generations, and I'm not doing anything with it. What can you do? Well,
That's
now.
That's a good way to do
So
it.
where would you find some of your pieces? Is it only online that you're selling these, or
The
are they for
pieces
sale,
that I
or-
find, one of them was, the guy in the antique place. You can even go to pawn shops. They throw them away, literally throw them away, because they take these cases. Some of them are solid gold, and
Wow.
they melt them for the precious metal.
Yeah.
So, and they keep the mechanics separated, and sometimes they scrap it.
And I think it's like, well, for instance, for example, if I wanna purchase this,
Work
Oh,
together.
purchase the motorcycles,
yours.
absolutely. Now I got your question.
forget the pawn shop, man. Forget the pawn shop.
It's cool. You want to highlight
No,
some
no,
stuff?
English,
It's cool.
man. We got a Cuba, Puerto Rican, and Brazilian.
you were meaning the
Sorry.
parts.
Is that the?
No,
It's
the
basically the
motorcycle.
Tres Amigos. If it was Mexican.
You should have said, man, don't you get the freaking question?
Hey, listen, I was gonna let you talk. I can ask it again. You gonna do it too.
Motorcycle, man. You know.
No, man.
Well,
you
the
can go to
first
my-
question that I get when people say, "How long does it take to commission one?"
Okay, so
If I come to you, I
if-
want to do a Budweiser watch motorcycle.
The whole process will take an average of 2 to 3 weeks.
That's
really-
it. I'll
really-
never say that. Don't say that. He mentioned 2 to 3 months.
Well,
This is gonna get busy after this.
sometimes it actually takes months because you don't have the exact part that you need and you have to hunt for it.
Yeah.
So that's, if you have good knowledge on how to piece it all together, good. But sometimes you don't have the piece. You don't have the perfect, shape. Let's say you told me my favorite motorcycle is a knucklehead, Harley or an Indian, and then you show me the picture. To get that shape is very difficult because this is not like a 3D printed item that you can just pull up. You have to find the piece and then put it all together.
And an average commission, how much is the average commission like this? If I want to get something in a box exactly like this guy right here, if I would have,
it would range between $2,500 to $3,500.
Wow, for an original like that, that's crazy.
And where can we purchase?
Okay, look, this would be the best way to have. Right.
Okay.
The best way to go to the website. I'm actually giving one away as a contest. Is that one in the back? It's called Liberty 2. So when you go to the website, okay,
He's giving this away.
this motorcycle is it was inspired by a motorcycle that was designed inspired by the Statue of Liberty, and there was a chopper created with this shape, and I decided to make it with watch parts.
Wow.
So you can see it all angles on the website, and the easiest way to go is you put win.this.bike.
Everybody's going to the phones right now. Win this. Go right there. Are you serious?
All you have to do is just go to the link, win this bike, right? And then you plug in your name, you put your email, and it gives you a free entry. If you want to buy additional entries, you can. So it gives you different brackets. So this motorcycle look
at Felix, the camera guy over there. Win this.
Wow, man.
Jesus, man.
Wow. So how we have a good time? Are we in good time?
Yeah.
How much time we have?
Hey, by the way, this is a good
Can you find these
time.
in galleries by chance, or is this just only strictly website and things like that?
So far, this has been shown on my own. I have gone to different antique places to show it. There's a place in Mount Dora called Renninger's. Are you familiar with it?
Oh yeah. Shoot, been there all the time.
So Renninger's brings a lot of people that appreciate, a lot of things that are very old.
Yeah.
So I brought it there, and the receptivity was fantastic.
Wow.
Because of the coronavirus, we've all been kind of like struggling on how I had a few galleries that wanted to show the pieces, and I decided to pull back a little bit. So now that everything is cooling off, hopefully,
it is. We're getting. But
So-
you interrupt the man when he was talking about
No.
something there.
Okay.
Right there.
I see, because you're ready for the gifts. Go ahead.
Oh, is that a gift?
I brought you guys some gifts. So
As if you didn't know there was. He
It's
told you
like,
before he got here.
this is for the Disney man.
Wow! Jealous. Whoa!
Appreciate it.
Whoa! We're gonna have the artist sign it live. We got the things here, the pen, the gold.
Guys, and I didn't know you were gonna be here.
Listen,
'cause you would've-
he even put my name on this.
Where?
Right here.
Jeez, look at that, man!
Yeah,
This
man.
is official, dude. I'm telling you.
Yeah, man.
You know, it's like, I'm gonna have the artist sign this bad boy.
For sure. Yes, because you're about to blow up right after this.
Woo! After this,
Oh, he already signed it. How much more you want him to sign
I
it?
want to sign the dude.
Yeah, it's
I want to sign right. Hey, why you get that one?
Because you got Disney.
This one is
Oh.
called. This is Thor, and that one is.
Look at, oh, check it out.
Motorcycle.
Listen, this is special for you. Hey, watch out, man.
There you
Watch
go,
out,
man.
watch out.
Right,
Just look at I wanna just record this, dude. I always give gift away, but no one gives nothing to me. But look at that. Look at that.
I don't know if
man.
this is.
Dude, do whatever. This is art.
Yo, you would give him one that is clear. Why you give him a black one or something?
No, that's fine, man. That's like I'm gonna go back in time.
You can try to get somebody
You know,
like,
maybe
Don't
we can
worry,
have.
don't worry. It's beautiful. Oh, I got black.
yeah, well,
maybe we can
he
have
already
a
signed
shot.
yours, so he gonna sign mine. Forget
Actually,
you.
we can. Pass me that over there.
This-
White gloves.
Yeah.
The gloves.
Or that one, so we can clean this one. Oh, you already did, dude. That was fast.
Oh, no.
That's gonna go in my room, man.
Here, let's see.
Sorry, jealous.
Hold on a second. We got a left-handed artist in the house.
A left-hand artist.
Is he left-handed?
Yeah.
No.
No,
Not
he's
left-handed?
not. No, he's not. Hey, you're not that special, bro. Come on, just left-handed.
Let's see.
I'm a left-handed. It's like
Left-handed artist, man.
left-handed
These
artist.
are my favorite charities. Save the left-handed artist.
Yeah.
Let's put 2020.
Thanks, bro.
Amazing.
Right on.
Do this
Yeah, do that. Yeah, man. Check.
Yeah, man.
You gotta compliment the guy. Look at that. It's not all the time we get this, bro. Check this bad boy out. Woohoo! You have to do this live, man.
Cool, bro.
I'm
that could be a face.
I'm a reput. Oh, you didn't call Mr. Cristiano this time. I gotta keep it
I
down.
see that you got a here. Take this. Do something with it.
This?
Yeah. Let's show some of that
Wow.
stuff. These are some of the pieces that. Put it right here, man.
Yeah, these are some of the pieces, so you can see, the different.
Wow, look at this thing. Man.
So this, for example, there are
have a
watchmakers that have this type of pieces,
Yeah.
and then when you do a little bit of research on the companies
Okay.
that make this, like Waltham and Hamilton and Elgin, you
Wow.
can see the rich history behind it. So whenever you use a piece, what I try to do is just try to complement them all into different. They're beautiful, man. I don't know if you can see.
This is cool, man.
Are those like a printed or they're like a?
This is
They printed
this
on,
is
right?
this is hand. I mean, most of them are handmade
Wow.
porcelain. It has.
Wow, this is crazy. You can feel the weight.
These are
on
all
it.
the pieces that he's using to create these masterpieces.
And you feel the weight on it, like
Yeah, yeah,
like a coin or something like that.
Some of them
crazy.
are
we gotta
metal.
get sponsored by some.
These
watch
ones are a
company or
little
something.
bit smaller. They're all very, very old parts too.
Do you have a bike that you made with just Rolex?
No, man, but you know what? That could get really, really expensive.
Really
If you
Rolex
make
is
a,
listen,
Yeah.
we gotta call Rolex. All right,
They
tell me
will
what's
cost
going
more than
on.
a motorcycle.
Rolex.
Look.
not a lot of people.
It's gonna be
give
like this.
away
You
Rolex.
take a $10,000 Rolex to make a
Yeah.
$3,000 motorcycle.
that could
Would you know
get
the
really,
collab
really
that he would do
expensive.
with Rolex? That'd be amazing.
Oh, dude, yeah. Every
Yeah.
watch store, you should have one of these.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And actually, I got a couple contacts. I'm telling you, it's every
I thought
store.
he's the man. Listen, this is the man right here.
No, I'm
Confidence.
telling you. I'm gonna walk in there and say, man, I'm gonna leave this. He just forgotten out.
Look, let me show you something really cool. If you bring the camera right here, so I want to show you something.
Close it.
This is what made me just fall in love with this stuff. Look at this.
Damn.
This is a work of art on its own, right? Let me just give it some crank.
Well, look at the detail on this, man.
no.
So look at this. You see all of that right there is handmade.
Wow.
No machine. Look at that.
This is
Can
crazy.
you-
Let's
can
see
you
if we
see
can
it?
show that camera here. This is unbelievable.
I mean, this is just
I
absolutely.
mean, whatever we're gonna put on YouTube too, so people can see it.
Look at that, guys.
But this is like crazy.
I mean, to me,
Wow.
it's something that made in the 1900s. All the letters are carved, and all of them, are different. And
Wow.
right there, this is I think 14 karat gold fill.
It's like they actually do it.
Yeah.
Like engrave it by
Yeah,
hand.
go
Like,
Yeah.
This is like
Yeah.
Wow.
Now
unbelievable.
let me
stuff.
show you this that has a very unique story behind it. I told you my father is a physician, and one day he received a gift from one of his patients, and he had very little knowledge on where this came from. But we started doing a little bit of homework. This is 18 karat gold. And look at the craftsmanship in that case.
Well, let's make sure we put in this camera here and that camera there as well, because I want the people to see this. And we're gonna take a detailed picture of that and post it, because that's important. Because people
Let me
gotta
see if I can
appreciate
show
that.
you something very cool.
Can you put this camera
So
here?
look at the You see that right there?
Yeah.
These were independent watchmakers. So what they used to do
Wow. Dude, how shiny that
in
is.
Switzerland, if you wanted something personalized, you would go to a local watchmaker and you would have them make it for you. So what you see inside, there's a city called Locle in Switzerland. And
Unbelievable.
we believe, and we don't know for a fact, we believe that this watch might have, come from somebody that, was part of World War One. And this gentleman came from, I think, Germany or Austria or something like that. And he gave this to my father.
Wow.
Look at how beautiful that's inside.
Wow.
As
What
a gift.
Wow.
So, this type of thing, when you know the story behind it, it just elevates. It just allows you to have a completely different appreciation for something like this. So, eventually, the idea is that you could take one of these functioning pieces and you can merge them with art without, taking away from this on its own. For example, instead of having it on a box, you could have it at home and you could have this as the back wheel, but you can take it out and you can see it and appreciate it and then put it back and you can put it in your workshop.
Hey, man, listen.
Yeah, because
Come
that's
on,
like
man.
That's a national treasure, man. Wow, unbelievable stuff.
I love it. Yeah, man. This is amazing stuff, man.
Guys, we have a 5 minute to finish.
That's it, man.
That's what we're gonna do. Get professional with this.
All right, go ahead.
Get professional with this.
Hey, don't forget to subscribe if you guys enjoy the content.
Exactly.
you
Oh
guys
yeah,
watching
do
it,
that.
like-
Do the subscribe.
No, you said you're gonna do it, so you
do
do
it.
it.
Professional, man.
Hey guys, if you guys like the content you're watching, please make sure that you guys hit a like. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, please make sure you subscribe. Watch the other videos.
And we're hitting him.
And I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll be back next time.
Gotcha. Guys, listen. It was an honor to have you here,
Man,
because
thank
when
you
we
so much for the
when
invitation.
we start our talk was about this. It's about discovering people that actually do incredible stuff right here in Central
I like it,
Florida in a way that I think this is more than art. I think it should run
There's
with
history.
this,
There's a lot of-
and I think there's so many room to explore this and show people, like a show and tell. We're gonna do the best we can to kind of expose more and more. And if you guys have any question, you guys interested in this, everything is gonna be linked below. We have a YouTube channel now that everything is gonna be added and put it together. But I believe we're gonna have you come over and over again, because we're gonna build a bike.
Yeah, man.
That's the challenge. We're gonna build
I'm
that
in.
bike. We have to build that bike now.
Could I catch our Instagram? What's
Yeah,
your
man.
Instagram? What's your Facebook? What's your...
Time Rider Designs. Time Rider Designs. If you go on Instagram, you just put Time Rider Designs and it will pop up. Same on Facebook. On YouTube, the channel is growing. It's Time Rider Designs as well.
Nice. We're gonna link that up.
Yeah, man.
Guys, thanks for watching once again. Thank you for the food. It was sponsored by Anna Gazzara. We got
Thank you,
Pizza
Anna.
Hut today. Thank you so much. There's no starving artists here. At least we got food. I want to show all the, real quick. We got 2 minutes. Everybody can hop here real quick. Come on. This is the guy that here. All artists in the house.
Let's
We
have an
have
audience today, yeah.
Solo elements in the house. One of the best custom paint that I ever know nationwide.
This guy
Tattoo
right
Bill,
here.
co-founder of Graffiti Journals, also a great
Shaka
artist.
laka.
Come on, man. Come over here. Don't destroy everything. Felix, our producer. Come on, Felix. Try to squeeze it in.
Let me get a picture of you guys.
A picture together. Go for a picture. We might have a minute or so.
One more.
Yeah, YouTube is about Instagram going to kick us out, but we made it. Number 11, and we're here.
Yeah,
We appreciate it, guys.
Krystiano, take a picture.
Love you. That's Felix there. I'll see you next time. Catch you later. Love you guys. Continue being beautiful.